140 Amnesty student delegates graduate in United Kingdom. 6 claimed first class. Accolades through recent successes of Amnesty delegates, plus tidbits and more. Hello, it is good to be with you again for another week of Reintegration 30,000. I am Stella Inamiti, and this episode promises to deliver on all of the regular segments which highlight the reformative agenda of the Presidential Amnesty Program. This program debuted a few weeks back, and since then has brought you some narratives of former armed agitators, leaders, and other stakeholders from the Niger Delta, as well as administrators of the Amnesty Program. All of these accounts tend to portray the fact that the Presidential Amnesty Program is impacting on lives and changing the fortunes of the entire region, particularly in terms of human capital development. Well, that brings us to our first segment, A Changed Story. Our changed story for this episode is someone who was quite active in the Niger Delta struggle, but not as a militant in any way. He was quite vocal during the period, articulating his thoughts and opinions on paper and at rallies. Well, he's poised to applying those same skills to something somewhat more significant. Let's meet our changed story for this week.
My name is Yayang Mene Perekanmoya Eric. I am not an ex-militant, but a delegate of the Presidential Amnesty Program by the virtue of being from a community impacted by violence. As an indigene of Arugbo, Niger Delta, I tried as much as possible to ensure that where youths are trying to be restive, I go in there, advise them, talk to them, have a talk shop with them, and enlighten them the way and manner their agitations can be achieved. And I assure that I made them to understand that peace is not about war, but jojo. I grew up to be committed to my environment. I'm more or less an environmental activist. And by doing that, I think I can do it better being a lawyer, an environmental lawyer or an environmental lawyer. I want to join the league and contribute my quota. And for me to do proper contribution is to become a lawyer and know what the law says about the environment, the beneficiaries, oil companies, and all the rest. And that is the driving force that made me to go and study law. I have lots of experience in the university as a law student. You know, I was not engaged by the Amnesty Office to be a coordinator, but I was midwifing between the university and the Amnesty Office. You know our boys now, some of them, they actually came from the creek, and some of us didn't come from the creek. We are beneficiary by the virtue of our communities being impacted by the violence, you know. So when they go when they want to go on rampage as a result of delay in payment, I come in and educate them. Specifically in Benedict University, the records are there. When students attempt to go on riots, I go in there. The management will call me, Eric, your people have started again, they want to call, so please talk to them. I will go into their hostel and calm them down, and each time I talk to them, they listen to me, and that is the way and manner I was able to manage unofficially in Benedict University and the Amnesty office till I left there. I love peace and conflict resolution, and it's one of my core courses when I was in the law school, because I love to mediate. For the Presidential Amnesty Program to have trained youths and persons from the Niger Delta, they have done a great deal of assistance to the Niger Delta people. Because somebody that has been trained, even from the creek, that has gone to the four walls of the university, graduated, gone for NYC and returned, can never be the way it was 5 years back. So the government of Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, has done a great deal. So training, it has gone a long way to helping, building, investing in human capital development vis-a-vis this educational sector. It's a very perfect one. And of course, I know Amnesty has been working and it is still working, and we pray it continues to work. If our delegates have been trained in vocational programs here and there, I'm aware that having been trained in vocational training, when you are done, the government or the office gives starter pack. With that, you should be able to get yourself you have to get yourself employed. We are Nigerians, 170 million, over 170 million persons. A lot of us do not have jobs. So we should be able to create jobs for ourselves. So I appeal to our people in the Niger Delta to make adequate use of what we have for now.
While determination and focus are key to achieving one's dreams, having access to a platform to build that dream is even more important. The Presidential Amnesty Program is using its education scholarship program to open doors for thousands of young people from the Niger Delta. Thousands have already benefited and thousands more are currently benefiting. This week on our segment Insight, we are looking at the education training component of the Presidential Amnesty Program. The education scholarship component of the Presidential Amnesty Program is clearly one of its many successes. From the onset, specifically designed targets were set by the Amnesty Office, bordering on the classes of delegates to be trained, where and in what discipline. In the first instance, the possible engagement of student delegates applied to all participants of the Presidential Amnesty Program, but leaned more towards those academically inclined and keen on furthering their education.
From the onset of the program, during the documentation process for the beneficiaries, they did indicate which fields of endeavor they would like to undertake training, and our data department has those records, and prior to deployment to schools, we rely on these records, and those delegates in our database that have indicated educational training are those that are primarily considered.
The essence for selecting these delegates is apparent. Education is key to any meaningful development, balancing the scale of knowledge and power, as well as providing leverage for poverty eradication and wiping out total ignorance. The Presidential Amnesty Program realizes the imperatives for a knowledge-driven society and has since 2009 given full education scholarships to thousands of youth from the region. The scope of participation covers payment of tuition fees, in-training allowance and other support services. Most of the beneficiaries have excelled in their chosen areas of studies, with many clinching first and second-class upper honors in disciplines such as medicine, forensic sciences, international diplomacy, and law. The Presidential Amnesty Program currently has beneficiaries studying in at least 16 countries around the world and in 15 universities here in Nigeria, both public and privately owned. For instance, records show that in the 2015-2016 academic year, 1,294 delegates were deployed to various universities in the country. Some 681 students delegates graduated within the year under review, 14 with first-class honors and 84 with second-class upper. In fact, the Benson Idahosa University retained 4 students from the program who had first class as lecturers. Delegates of the program who have graduated from Nigerian universities in the year 2017 have also made first class and second class upper division in various disciplines.
In this past session alone, we've achieved up to 21 first class and second class upper delegates, and His Excellency the Special Advisor is very proud of them, and it encourages him to dedicate more time, more effort, more energy towards our delegates in schools. We traverse the schools on periodic basis, encouraging our students, talking to them and counseling them, making them understand that their performance at the end of the day is what will guarantee them a better future for themselves, their families, and by extension, the Niger Delta region.
The performance of student delegates abroad has been stunning as well. Between 2015 and 2016, a total of 454 graduated mainly from 6 British universities alone, with 20 graduating first class and 41 second class upper. In 2017, delegates of the program have made excellent results, including first class and second class upper division from universities abroad.
When I started, to be honest, I wasn't having straight A's. No, my result will show you that first year I was on a 2-2 basically, but first year didn't count because here they allow you to develop. Second year I had to work hard and learn from the mistakes that I made, and then final year it all came together, and that's how I finished with straight A's and finished with the first class. But yeah, life has moved from a state where I wasn't even sure where I was going onto a place where now I actually have got a scholarship to study a PhD for 4 years without having to pay a single fee. I don't have to pay for it.
The Amnesty Office has also ensured the effective management of student delegates abroad through collaboration with Nigerian embassies and high commissions. This has led to a remarkable reduction in student agitations. With a population estimated at 25 million people, the Niger Delta region is primed to benefit from a growing population of college-educated young people.
Human resource development is hugely critical and important to that nation's development and to its sustainability, its survival. A nation's very existence depends on the human resource of its individuals.
You're watching Reintegration 30,000. Our guest today on Talking Point is the National Chairman of 6166 Presidential Amnesty Program, Phase 2, Mr. Aso Tambo. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Stella.
You're currently the National Chairman of 6166 Presidential Amnesty Phase 2. How exactly does your group help promote engagement between delegates and the Presidential Amnesty Program?
Thank you. The group I am leading, which is the 6,166 ex-agitators, the delegates were sent out for reintegration and training. The way we do it to assist the office, we provide phone numbers of the delegates to enable the office communicate directly with them. Then after provision of the phone numbers, we make sure these people, through the head of the office, report at their training centers completely, so that it will enable the office to achieve the number of people they want to train at a particular time. As leaders, we provide leadership on our own sector to ensure that everybody who is needed to go for this training go at the appropriate time they are requested to be there. Thank you.
Based on your experience, how would you describe the response and participation of delegates in the program?
The response and participation of candidates or delegates in this program is adequate. Is very good, because we are also working hand to hand with the Presidential Amnesty Office. And before our delegates will go to training, we also will be there to confirm and ensure that it is our delegates and the genuine delegates that is going to the training in the different training centers. So the system of arriving our people to their training centers is always adequate.
Are there some areas you think the administrators of the amnesty program should look into in order to ensure equity in its administration?
Yes, there are some critical areas and some gray areas I would wish if the office can assist to look into in the process of running this program. And these are the few areas I want them to look at. Whenever they want to do anything with our boys or the delegates per se, there is the need for them to relate with their leaders. They should question the boys or the delegates, either male or female, to know which of the groups the particular delegate belongs to. This one will enable us not to train people that are ghost candidates that does not belong to this program.
Recently, there was a crucial meeting in Port Harcourt between the Amnesty Office and leaders of Phases 2 and 3. How has that meeting been able to address some of the issues raised?
Yeah. In fact, there was a meeting, a very crucial meeting between the Phase 2 and Phase 3 leaders with the management of the Presidential Amnesty Program at Port Harcourt. And in the meeting, leaders of the both phases were given opportunity to explain to the hearing of the management gray areas, areas that are giving them problem as they provide leadership to their boys in running this program. And in fact, at the conclusion of the meeting, we were able to resolve and agree that the gray areas explained by the leaders of both groups will be attended to adequately by the office. So the meeting was a fruitful one and ended fruitfully.
Lately, the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has been touring the Niger Delta region. What impact has this move created in the region?
In the first place, as concerning this, I have to thank God, who must have touched the mind of the acting president to tour the region. Because it is always a matter of joy for a leader to come down to visit his people and cross-pollinate ideas with them, share opinions with them. Because for every follower, it is your happiest day for you to see your leader coming to your doorpost to discuss issues with you. So the visit of the acting president to the Niger Delta region, I believe, has promoted so much peace in the region, most especially in the area of the issue of Avengers and other ones that were hanging in the region recently. It was because of his visit that all these things gradually faded away till today.
In your opinion, is amnesty working?
Yes, amnesty is quite working, because this program has survived for the past 8 years, and amnesty is working because before these 8 years, the Niger Delta region, for you to be a marketer in that region, you cannot go to the creeks of Niger Delta at all. But because amnesty is working, and for the sake of amnesty, our creeks are enjoying peace, our market women are enjoying peace in their marketing areas, and the issue of reintegration too has helped so seriously among the delegates of this program. So if people are being trained and empowered and the reintegration process is smoothly going on, it means Amnesty is seriously working.
Mr. Tambo, thank you for coming on the show. We hope to bring you back soon.
Thank you, Stella.
Aso Tambo is the national chairman of 6166 Presidential Amnesty Program Phase 2. Time now for PAP in recap. 6 student delegates of the Presidential Amnesty Program have become the newest holders of first-class degrees in the growing list of honor graduates emerging from the Amnesty Education Scholarship Scheme. The 6 beneficiaries are part of 144 student delegates who recently successfully concluded various courses of discipline in some universities in the United Kingdom, while 23 of the scholarship beneficiaries graduated with second-class upper. Others completed their courses in other divisions. The Presidential Amnesty Office, in collaboration with the Nigerian High Commission, United Kingdom, in giving credence to what has become a norm in the education component of the Amnesty Program, hosted the successful delegates from several universities to a reception at the Nigerian House, London.
See this as an achievement not only for yourself, but also for our great nation. And see this also as the beginning of very, very great things to come.
I wish to encourage you as a father to live a productive life. Each day you wake up after your prayers in the morning, ask yourself, what do I want to achieve today? And at the end of the day, ask yourself before you go to bed, what have I achieved today?
This big feat is a symbol of hope, the type we want to see replicated in all facets of our national lives. You are truly the future of our dear nation.
In another development, members of Muhammadu Buhari Osinbajo Dynamic Support Group and Green Garden Initiative have joined other well-meaning individuals and groups to drum up support for the Presidential Amnesty Program. They were received by the Chief of Staff, Presidential Amnesty Office, Colonel Dedis Abel, retired, who lauded the group for the show of support and enjoined them to continue in the task of nation building by advocating peaceful coexistence and harmonious living. Leader of the team and Deputy Coordinator South, Muhammadu Buhari Osinbajo Dynamic Support Group, Prince Bodei Arerevo, said the team's mission to the Amnesty Office is to appreciate the special advisor in his efforts and achievements so far, as well as urge him to do more in order to achieve set targets as given to him by President Muhammadu Buhari. And finally, the special advisor to the President on Niger Delta and coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Brigadier General Paul Boro, has affirmed the commitment of the Amnesty Office to carry out the mandate of successfully reintegrating former agitators into civil life. General Boro said the need to meet this mandate compelled the Amnesty Office to step up activities towards empowering trained delegates in various vocations. He further explained that thousands have already been empowered and are making remarkable contributions to society.
I'm happy to say that the Amnesty Program has achieved greatly in stabilizing the peace and security of Niger Delta region of Nigeria. Beneficiaries of this program are also success stories today. Some have risen to be lawmakers. They are involved in legislation in their various states. The program is succeeding, and a lot more people want to be captured in the program. So it is a success story, and I'm very happy that it's happening during my time, because I believe in the principle of collective responsibility and effort in achieving a program of this nature.
We have come to the end of this episode of Reintegration 30,000, a series on the activities of the Presidential Amnesty Program. If you have just joined us, well, next week, same time, is another opportunity. Please don't miss out again. Please also take a few minutes of your time to visit our social media platforms where you can make your comments and contributions. Until I come your way again, do remember that amnesty works. I am Stella Inameti.